Hi everyone, my name is Richard Heeley. I'm the CIO of Macquarie BFS. I wanted to spend some time with you today just talking through about our technology journey over the last 6 years. So I joined Macquarie BFS in 2014 to lead a core banking implementation. In 2017, after the successful implementation of core banking, I was asked to lead the whole of the technology team as the CIO. A little bit about Macquarie Group, first of all, rather than Macquarie BFS. So Macquarie Group is a multinational company. We operate in 31 countries. We have over 15,000 employees, over 4 main divisions or business-facing divisions. 3 of those divisions are global businesses, and they really focus on the investment banking side of the business. So today, I want to talk to you about the retail banking arm. The retail banking arm is domiciled in Australia. It is not a global business, it's an Australian business, and it's called Banking and Financial Services. We internally call it BFS, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. We're a fully formed retail bank in the respect that we provide services to personal banking customers, wealth management customers, business banking customers, and we do that directly to clients, but we also go through advisors and brokers and direct to business clients. In terms of the number of customers we have in Australia, we've got 1.6 million customers or thereabouts at this moment in time. The technology team which I lead is based in 3 locations. We're largely domiciled in Australia, but we have locations operating in Manila, in the Philippines, and Gurugram as well, in New Delhi in India. So we started that digital transformation in 2014, as I mentioned, and we did something which everybody says we shouldn't do, which is we started major transformations at the same time. So to just walk through those, we started a core banking implementation. We also started the redevelopment of e-banking, the development of a new mobile banking application, a new CRM, a customer relationship management system, a new payments platform, a new data harbor, but also a business process management engine as well. So we had multiple large programs all operating at the same time, and all to deliver a real-time outcome. So by mid-2016, the building blocks were in place. We'd largely delivered the major infrastructure and major components and software of those programs that I mentioned to you. So we decided that we'd actually change our tact and actually start looking at our new technology strategy, which has 2 parts. There's a cultural element to it and a technology piece to it. And I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about both. So in July 2016, we decided to move the entire technology division in BFS to operating enterprise agile and with a full DevOps model. So the thing I'm often asked by people is, what version of enterprise agile or agile are you running? I say the same thing to everybody. It's our version of agile. We took advice from many different companies. We've reviewed different agile practices across Capital One, Netflix, Spotify. But at the end of the day, the version of agile that you have has to be the agile that makes sense in the context of your organization and the culture that you run. But it was a big moment, moving us all to enterprise agile. Just spend a little bit of time on what it means to us. We have everybody organized in a release train structure. A release train is around 150 to 200 people. After 150 people, the sort of the neural network of people begins to break down. So we like to keep the release trains in a certain size. Within the release trains, we have everybody operating within a feature team. We try to use the 2 pizza model, so the whole team has to be fed on 2 pizzas, which means that we try and keep the teams between 8 and 12 people. Some teams are a little larger than that, some teams are a little smaller, but there's sort of the generic rules. And those teams are there to minimize, we've done those teams and created those teams to minimize dependencies and context switching and to maximize efficiency and empowerment of the teams. What we found is if we didn't create a full stack team, what actually happened is the amount of context switching in that team and the amount of dependency management outside of that team began to impact them as individuals. It began to impact them as a team and began to impact their empowerment. So we run these release trains and feature teams within a program increment. A program increment is a 12-week duration. In that 12 weeks, we run 6 2-week sprints. So they're sort of the general principles and rules which we've applied to Agile. We allow the teams to run different versions of Agile in the sense that they can run Scrum or they can run Kanban, as long as they're running an Agile technique. We also took the opportunity to move 100% to a DevOps model. What does that mean to us is every single one of those feature teams is managing their code base, their applications, their software from development through to production. So there's no operations teams. There's no eyes on glass teams. What there is small teams of empowered individuals supporting their code base. We also used the Google SRE model, the Site Reliability Engineering model, and Google helped train a number of our teams in the use of that model. And so we've trained everybody in Agile and DevOps. It was short training. What we didn't want to do is overdo it. Agile and DevOps are all about jumping in. So I think we gave the bulk of the team a half-day training course. It seems even now slightly crazy, but it worked, and I'll come on to that later. So why did we embark on this change? So I personally love the Agile Manifesto. I don't know if anybody's read it, but if you haven't, then reread it at times. The words are so simple, but they're so challenging in the implicit challenge that they're giving you to change your management style. And so we really love this Agile Manifesto. We talk about it as a team. But the reason we did Agile is to speed up delivery for our customers. The purpose of Agile is to get working software, working features, working products into our customers' hands as quickly as we can. And it's worked for us. We've seen a massive increase in our cadence of delivery. So to give, again, we run many feature teams. So in terms of cadence of delivery, we've seen increases of between 100% and 300% in terms of the amount of production change that is being done now under Agile against what was being done previously. We've also seen a dramatic reduction in the number of production incidents. Again, it's different by different feature teams, but to give you a flavor, it's in hundreds of % increase in production incident by having that DevOps mindset. We've also said to teams, they have to ship code into production every 2 weeks. They can go faster than that, and some teams do. Some teams ship to production every day. But every team must ship to production every 2 weeks. And the reason for that is it builds muscle memory. It builds muscle memory in their code base, in the environments they look after, but also in the customers that they support. So with this culture of Agile, we've had to build a new set of collaboration tools. It just wouldn't work with the tools of an older organization or a more monolithic bank. So we use email very sparingly. We use synchronous tools for pretty much everything, from deployment to code bases, through to approvals, through to production releases. So to bring us right up to date, fast forward to today, where are we? Well, where we are is we're purely containerized in our digital environment. And we're multi-cloud on GCP and AWS. So not only did we change the culture of the organization, we decided to change that technology stack. We've got by the end of this financial year, we'll have 75% of our application suite running on public cloud. The plan by the end of FY22 will be 100% running on public cloud. We've also not allowed the teams to lift and shift their code base or their applications to cloud. They have to re-engineer to make use of cloud native features, be that infrastructure as code or containerization. So they're not allowed to do that lift and shift. We've also, and there's the language of pets and cattle in cloud terminology. We also do not allow pets on our cloud infrastructure. And what does that mean? Well, that means we expect the teams to have engineered their applications to be able to go back to bare metal on a regular basis. And that's what we expect them to do. Okay, so why move everybody to cloud? Why enforce this cloud piece? Well, what we see is as soon as a team have moved to cloud, we see an immediate transformation in that team. We see a cadence increase, which I've mentioned before. The speed of delivery naturally goes up as they start to use the tools and techniques of cloud. But other things happen as well. Resilience is improved. Incident management is improved. Technology debt just disappears, because if the requirement is to rebuild from bare metal on a regular basis, you cannot afford to have any of that technology debt. So let's get a little bit more into the technology side now. So from a technology perspective, we decided to make a series of decisions to use the best technology from the best companies we could find. So we use the same technology as Google, we use the same technology as Facebook, Twitter, Spotify, Netflix, etc. We're opinionated about that technology. We're opinionated on operating systems, database, integration tooling, but we allow the teams at the application tier to use the applications of choice. So they have choice at that time. We allow buy versus build. We often talk about the line of IP. If there is no IP or intellectual property in what we're building, then let's find a SaaS provider or a different solution for that. So we're heavily invested in that engineering capability, and we continue to do so. So we look forward to a cloud-based world, and for us, it's not too far away. And we're pushing as much as we possibly can into containers, APIs, and microservices. And the reason being is it's about the speed of now. We honestly believe that the speed of response for our customers has to be real time and has to be digital. And therefore, we need to use this engineering, we need to use this technology stack, we need to use cloud. We see the growth of containers through Kubernetes is essential for our technology. We have the whole of our e-banking portal and our mobile banking portal running in containers today. We have around 50 applications running live in production today across hundreds of containers. They give us massive flexibility. They give us massive growth and elastic compute. But it also allows us to get onto the forefront of technology. We've taken a bet with Kubernetes, a technology bet, and with Anthos. We want to be the first into market using these tools on a number of features, using those APIs, using those microservices, using containers. So we were one of the first banks to be to allow open banking. We built our transaction API, our balance API, our account API in 2018, and more will follow as we use that mix of containers, microservices, and APIs to build this customer services that our customers need. I just want to talk a little bit about sort of neobanks and monolithic banks. Here in Australia, we're lucky enough to have a number of neobanks emerge in the last few years. Neobanks, or challenger banks, some people call them. I think it's a hugely exciting development. I actually think it improves everything. the challenge from a new organization appearing, the competitive environment, and also the new technology in thinking some of those fintechs or neobanks or challenger banks bring. But the days of those big monolithic banks with monolithic technologies is gone. And it's gone forever through microservices, APIs, containers, all those things, but also exacerbated by fintech pressure through the challenger banks and also open banking. So we see that technology that I've described as an enabler. So we expect to see over the next few years a plug and play of bringing features together through APIs, microservices, and in a container world to offer to our customers quickly. So in conclusion, we're building a bank on the latest technology. We're centered around containers, but we're also centered around Kubernetes through GKE and Anthos. The way we work is through enterprise, agile, and DevOps. And we think the two, that culture and the technology, is a potent mix. But finally, we're also attempting to deliver everything in real time. I often say to people, customers operate in real time. They don't go into batch mode. They don't go into a reconciliation mode. They operate with you in real time, and therefore, for a bank to change between business hours to outside of business hours or overnight into something else doesn't make sense to me, and I don't think it makes sense to our customers, and particularly as we're moving into a phase of extreme digitization at this particular moment in time. I think batch mode is gone forever, and so real-time banking is our future. I hope that's helped understand the Macquarie journey and the Macquarie BFS journey, and thank you for your time.